You've got 3 hours to join the HOA or we'll evict you. That's what the woman in the gray suit said, standing on my porch like she owned the mountain beneath my boots. 3 luxury SUVs idling behind her engines, purring like predators, just waiting for a signal. And you know what I told her? I told her something she didn't expect. Something I'd been wanting to say to someone like her for years, honestly. Lady, I built this place before your HOA even existed. So now the clock's ticking 3 hours before they try to take what's mine, 3 hours before their polished shoes touch the wrong dirt. And when they come back up that mountain road, trust me, they're not leaving the same way. What would you do if a fake HOA tried to evict you from your own land? I mean, seriously, comment below. Let's see who'd stand their ground. So, here I am, coffee steaming up into the morning air, just sitting on my deck as the sunrise paints copper on the mountain, listening to my grandfather's old rooster crow from the coop he built back in '38. 47 years I've sat on this porch, and the peace up here, it used to be absolute, the kind of quiet that settles in your bones after decades of city noise and police radio chatter. If you're watching this story unfold, drop a comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Bet your morning view isn't quite like mine. Used to be quiet anyway. But the first sound that breaks the silence isn't natural. It's the low hum of expensive engines climbing the narrow dirt road to my property, 3 black BMWs moving up the switchbacks with the careful precision of people who don't belong out here. Their chrome catching the early light noses in the air like they're allergic to mud. My hand just kind of moves out of habit to where my service weapon used to be. 25 years carrying a badge will do that to you. But I'm not dealing with armed suspects anymore. These look like lawyers, and in my experience, that might actually be worse. The lead car stops 50 feet from my porch and outpour 12 people, like some kind of corporate invasion force. And the woman who steps out first, she carries herself like she owns everything. Her eyes touch. Mid-50s hair, yanked into a severe bun, charcoal business suit that probably cost more than my truck. She's flanked by 2 guys in matching Navy suits, a nervous lawyer clutching a briefcase like it's full of state secrets, and 4 security types who do a bad job trying to look casual as they scan my land. Their shoes and those spotless suits, dead giveaways. They're city folks playing dress-up for a mountain expedition. But there's something in the way they move, calculating, like this isn't their first rodeo. Mr. Ashford, she calls out, voice all authority, expecting I'll jump to attention. I'm Scarlett Peaton, chairwoman of the Green Valley Mountain Estates Homeowners Association. We need to discuss your property's compliance status. And she doesn't even wait for an invitation, just stomps right up my steps, heels clicking like gunfire. She dumps legal papers all over my porch table, compliance inspection mandatory, HOA membership, environmental impact assessment, every page with a fancier title than the last. Every fee more ridiculous. 50 grand for dues, 25 for infrastructure and penalties that would wipe out my whole pension. And then she tells me, real calm, I've got exactly 3 hours to pay or face immediate relocation assistance. Now my police training kicks in and I start going through these papers, and man, every fraud flag in my head starts waving. The signatures don't match any county commissioner I know. Letterhead fonts are off. The paper itself is too light, too cheap. These are expensive forgeries, but forgeries all the same. So I look her in the eye and say, ma'am, I've lived here since '78. Got a clear deed, pay my taxes, and there's never been any HOA up here. I point down to the valley where the closest neighbor is 2 miles through Pine. What exactly are we associating about? Her lawyer calls himself Attorney Knox, fumbles through papers, can't look me in the eye. When I ask for his bar number, he just gets real interested in his shoes. In my experience, legit lawyers love flashing their credentials. Fakes change the subject. While Peaton drones on about community standards, I notice one security guy has drifted to the tree line. He's not securing anything. He's installing a little device no bigger than a matchbox on a pine branch with a perfect view of my house. He moves quick, practiced. I know surveillance when I see it. 25 years, you get to know the moves. They're checking watches, reading notes written on their palms, and Knox drops his briefcase twice. These aren't pros, they're amateurs with expensive props, which actually makes them unpredictable and dangerous. Desperate people with something to lose, they don't follow logic, they just panic. And that's when folks get hurt. So I lean back, sip my coffee, and let the silence stretch. I finally say in my years as a cop, I learned the folks who show up with ultimatums usually can't back them up. Real officials don't work on 3-hour deadlines. Knox's face goes beet red. One of the guards steps up, but Piton raises her hand. She's losing control and she knows it. The only question is, does she back down or make things worse? And looking in her eyes, I see she's not one to back down. When they finally pile back in their convoy, Piton leans close, smells like fear under all that perfume. Mr. Ashford, you have until noon to make the right decision. After that, your options become limited. Threats hang in the air like smoke as their taillights vanish down the mountain. But they leave evidence: tire tracks, footprints, a blinking device in my pine tree. Silence returns, but it's not the same. I know the peace I've built up here is about to be tested. I walk the property, old cop habits die hard, and spot more signs, fresh tire tracks by the back fence, disturbed brush marks on my mailbox. These folks have been here before, just the first time they announced it. Up above, a drone circles surveillance is already in play. Whatever Piton's planning, it's been in motion for a while. First thing I do is what any investigator would: verify the source. My laptop pulls up the county database, nothing. No Green Valley Mountain Estates, no new developments approved, nothing close. County clerk confirms it. Sir, someone's feeding you a line of bull. The physical documents are even more telling: wrong serial numbers, seals printed on high-end laser printers, and a watermark from the wrong manufacturer. Whoever made these fakes had resources but lacked the real know-how. So I call Landon Cross in Denver, old partner's boy, now a defense attorney. He listens, takes notes, says, Uncle Garrett, this is organized land fraud. These aren't random crooks. They've done their homework. The HOA's supposed headquarters is a vacant building, utilities paid up just to keep up appearances. All this for my piece of mountain. Then I remember an old survey: mineral deposits, nothing worth mining in the 70s, but maybe now makes sense why someone would fake a whole HOA to steal my land. By late afternoon, the harassment ramps up. My internet gets jammed, the landline hisses, my cell phone won't connect out. Police scanner confirms that someone's jamming communications. At sunset, my gate's tagged with illegal occupant and red paint still wet. Whoever did it was close watching for the perfect window. I find more surveillance posts and even boot prints near my water supply. Someone's mapping my property, planning something big. Then comes the chainsaw. In the dark, I hear it at my fence. By the time I get there, someone sliced out a section big enough for a truck. Now, it's not just threats, they're prepping for invasion. I document everything: photos, notes, evidence for when this finally goes to court. But I know deep down that prosecuting criminals only works if you're alive to testify. These folks are moving past fraud. This is turning into something deadly. That night, all my communications go dead: internet, landline, cell, all at once. I see the faint glow of equipment in the trees. My property is under siege. I'm isolated. The next morning, my access road is booby-trapped. Roofing nails shredded my tires. My water's been contaminated with red dye, and a note says, contaminated. Do not use. This is psychological warfare as much as physical. By midday, a new inspection team shows up, different logos, same old threats. They claim EPA violations, $200,000 in fines, total evacuation. But their badges are fakes, IDs photoshopped. When I refuse to sign their violation notice, one guard steps forward, hand twitching near his jacket, weapon ready. Piton stops him with a glance. Not yet, but I get it. We're way past paperwork. In all the chaos, a folded paper drops from Piton's case. I slide it to my foot and pocket it. Turns out it's a fresh geological survey. My land is a gold mine, literally. They're not after a house. They want the minerals under it. The threats, the intimidation, all of it is about profit. Now they're not even trying to hide. As night falls heavy, Machinery rumbles beyond my fence, prepping for a full-scale operation. The gloves come off. I hike 5 miles down to where I can get a cell signal, call Landon, fill him in. He's found patterns other rural owners. Targeted accidents, families forced out, homes demolished. These aren't amateurs. They're running a criminal business model. Research, intimidate, fabricate, and escalate until they get the deed. Back at the county seat, we find forged mineral rights, transfer filings, notary seals from a dead official. Everything systematic. Mining division guys show us applications for strip mines. My land is now prime target number 1 with permits fast-tracked through fake health emergencies. It's environmental terrorism as much as theft. But we catch a break. Landon files emergency injunctions, restraining orders, evidence, victim testimony. I set up my own surveillance, catch everything on camera, mic, GPS. The breakthrough comes from the mining division. Approval letters are fakes forged from stolen letterhead. Now we're in FBI territory, federal crime, multiple states. And just as the mountain feels lost, the real feds show up. Agent Harrison from the EPA brings legit credentials in the news. They've been tracking Piton's group for months, waiting for someone to come forward. My refusal to back down gives them what they need. The plan I play along, act defeated, let them incriminate themselves while the feds record everything. The next day I go back to the field trailer where Piton and Knox offer a buyout $500,000 for my land, knowing it's worth millions in minerals. I refuse. Piton threatens, you can sign or you can vanish. The meeting ends with more threats, and as I leave, I know it's now or never. At dawn, federal agents sweep in helicopters overhead, real arrest warrants in hand. Piton, Knox, and their security go down hard. No amount of money, no political connections can buy them out of federal custody. For hours, agents catalog every hard drive, document, drone, everything they need to take down this criminal empire. Media coverage explodes, mountain mafia headlines, stories about rural property rights, environmental crime. Knox rolls on the whole organization, handing over files, naming names, exposing bribes and forged permits. It's bigger than me, multi-state conspiracy, government corruption, environmental disaster averted. Even as my mountain gets restored, as the criminal suits roll in and the civil lawsuits pile up, I know this fight isn't over. A few weeks later, word comes down Piton and her crew make bail. Now they're desperate, dangerous. Sure enough, before long they show up again. Fake uniforms, fake court order, desperate to finish what they started. But this time we're ready. Federal agents are in position, and as they move to force me off my own land, the feds move in again, arrests, helicopters, the whole 9 yards. That night, as silence settles over my porch, I finally feel like the mountain's breathing easy again. But the lesson sticks. Freedom's price is eternal vigilance. The courtroom drama wraps up. Jury finds Piton and the rest guilty. Sentences come down hard, and justice actually feels like justice for once. 6 months later, coffee in hand, sunrise on the mountain. I know what I fought for. Home isn't just a place. It's what you defend when nobody else will. And if you're watching this, let me ask, how far would you go to protect what's yours? Drop your story, your thoughts, your justice down below. And if you know someone who'd love a wild plot twist, share this video. Let's make sure the next time someone comes up a mountain with a fake badge and a stack of lies, they think twice before stepping onto the wrong porch.